Hi friend, welcome for today's important messages for you. We are going to focus exactly on your shadow work, something that you're forced to do right now by your destiny, fate, or circumstances, or something that you're already working on. You would know better when I will talk about it. And I sound really sexy, I know it, just because I got a flu and I didn't work for the few days. But now it's 7 a.m. and the first thing that I do in the morning, I'm filming this video. But this is why my voice sounds exactly like it sounds. Anyway, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Sonnie and I have my Etsy shop for personal readings. You can check the link in the description box and in the first comment. And let's choose your group. For group 1, we have Threya, You Are Worthy, You Are Loved, with white Howlite moon. For group 2, we have Magic Wand. Focus your energy on one thing with pink rose quartz moon. Those cards, they are just beautiful. And for group 3, we have Transformation. Shed, let go, make room for greatness with Opalite moon. If you still didn't decide, you can pause the video here or rewatch previous part of the video, and we're going to start from the group 1 right now. Hi Group 1, today decided to choose Threya and White Howlite Moon, and let's see what we got for you from Oracle cards. It's an interesting combination with Leo, Shine, Libra, Balance, and Gemini, Cross-Pollinate. The moment when I draw those cards, I actually, my first thought was about the Leo, that you lack of attention and recognition, and it could be really huge part of your shadow work. And first, again, perspective on this was that it is connected to your work, to your purpose in this life, right? And the interpretation of those cards was that you have to go through some communication with others and cross-pollinate ideas, meaning that you have to communicate and search other perspective on your current situation so that it will help you to bring balance in your life and to become more satisfied and adequate Leo archetype. And Leo archetype is a person who shines brightly with their knowledge, with their compassion, and help others to learn and to go through difficult times, basically. But then after I meditated a little more, I started to feel another connection. And this connection actually still is based on the lack of recognition, but here it implements itself in personal relationships. In my opinion, for you, those two things are so much connected, your personal relationships and your self-esteem and your work. The bringing balance in one of those spheres will inevitably bring balance in the other sphere. Because if it's connected to your personal relationships here and now, Gemini talks about the importance of going deeper in current situation. Libra talks about the importance of erupting the conflict to bring in equilibrium in the situation. And Leo talks about sharing the truth without fear, basically. So I can see here that you might going through some deep and important conflict in your life with someone who is important for you, but you might be shy and you might try to hide your truth because you're trying to make everything look that it's not so bad as it is. But this is the problem, because repression do not bring peace, unfortunately. And I know how difficult it could be to say out loud what you're thinking about. But help from other people could really be in hand here, because, again, this main message from Gemini here is that you need to talk about it out loud, to communicate with other people in a dialogue. And maybe before you will be able to communicate with your concrete person with whom you have this conflict, you can go and try to search help from others therapist is a huge suggestion, of course, if you are into it and you can afford it. But also talking with, of course, friends and maybe those people who are not connected to this situation, and just being open to their views, but not taking them for the truth, because you need to connect and to collect many different ideas right now that could help you to lift the veil of your beliefs that communicating straightforward in this situation would bring only harm for me and for them. Because if you are afraid that it will bring harm for your relationships, that just means that you still don't fully understand and don't have deeper knowledge about the truth. Leo inside you, your energy of Leo, wants to shine brightly. And maybe you already a person who is shining, who knows about the fact that they have to be seen by others. And as I said, if it's connected, if your Leo energy connected to work, it could suffer because you're repressing your personal relationships and you're repressing your truth and speaking straightforwardly with someone, and you experience such a huge fear of being abandoned, of being rejected, because you expressing your truth, because you're being honest and sincere, that it inevitably will work against you on your workplace. If, again, as I said, it's important for you to be someone whom other people are listening to. Obviously, I have Leo rising, and I know what does it mean. And I'm here on YouTube, right? I'm acting as a Leo archetype and teaching other people. But when I'm afraid and scared to say and to build healthy boundaries with in my personal relationships, I feel so scared from acting on public. That was actually a huge connection to this realization for me. And I stepped into my power of Leo last November when I got another relationships. But in the same moment, I was on the psychological group, It was a short group where we were learning what it is to be in a group, because it was in my school on the psychological group course. But don't get it wrong. Any group is a real group. It doesn't matter, because there were real people and they triggered real responses. And I went through some deep and huge realizations on this group, especially connected to this Leo energy. And what I mean by this, I like this guy in this group, and he was really, really shy, and he would never really talk out loud. And because I resonated with his energy so much, I was dumping my desire to speak, desire to share, desire to help others. And I would also experience, and I huge empath, obviously, and I felt his fear, and I was never able to understand that it's not my fear to speak out loud, it's his fear to speak out loud. So communicating with him and talking with him and asking him why you're not talking out loud, what's the problem, basically expressing him my view on the situation helped me to understand that my real feelings about talking out loud in the group are different from his, and that it is not truth for me to stay shy and to shut up, basically. It's a little messy explanation, but if it's resonated in you, you know what I mean, I guess, because learning about him more through straightforward explanation of myself, through being honest with myself near him, and what I can tell you that didn't work between us, because my honest, myself, my personality, my real personality definitely was not in tune with his current personality. I still don't believe that it's truth that he is so shy, because basically he has Leo in his sun, not even rising. Okay. So many emotions. The idea was that I accepted the fact that I cannot be with someone who is lying themselves so much, and I don't want to be someone who is lying themselves so much. So I started to shine brightly, and from the last November I started to really accumulate, and I actually started my channel last November, this channel. Accumulate this confidence in my shining, Leo shining. So I also wanted to tell you that those zodiac signs connected to some parts of the body, and if you experience some problems with those parts of the body, maybe those messages are really important to bring balance in your being. So Leo connected is to heart, liver, and upper back. Libra connected to kidneys, endocrine system, and basically homeostasis process or balancing of all your systems. And Gemini is connected to lungs, shoulders, hands, and nerves. So if you experience physical problems with this thing, those recommendations could be the source of your solution. I didn't mention the Freya card that you decided to choose today with your worthy, your loved, but if you will know that you are loved by yourself because you accept that you better be honest with you and with those who are near you than to please them by dimming your truth and by escaping from conflict and making harm yourself every day, then you will not need recognition and love from others, because you will, first of all, receive it from yourself, and second, person who loves themselves will receive love from others. It's inevitable also. There is a big problem with injustice. You think that it's not just for you, the fact that they do not appreciate you enough, they don't see how much you're doing for these relationships or for your work. You feel that everything is so shallow, you want to go deeper. Well, start from yourself, right? This is your shadow work. And everything that is reflected in the outer world happening inside you. And if your thoughts are those negative thoughts that I just said, remember that you're thinking absolutely the same thing about you on your subconscious level. Let's see what we have in Prizm Oracle for you. I just movement. Interesting. Hunger, yes! Sorry, I'm sorry. Okay, the moment I saw Leo, I thought about this card. Why? Because when your energies are imbalanced, you experience huge hunger for attention. And you would get absolutely any attention as a feast for you, you know, like, and this could really mess up with your relationships and with your work. This could bring dependency and addictive behaviors. And this definitely could bring a lot of people pleasing to just be able to receive this attention. But then on the other side, we got movement and hunger together. I want to look at them together. And I can tell you that you experience huge hunger for movement. You want to move forward, and the best thing that you can do is to actually translate it on your physical level and to move your body. Walk, run, swim, do movement that allow you to move further, right? Working with physical aspects can change our energies on more subtle levels. That's true. That always was truth. And of course, the way how cards were positioned is also important, because we have hunger above Gemini. And here I can see that you also have this hunger for communication, for having more people in your life with whom you can talk deeper. And here I feel this message that you might act very double-faced, We have this sometimes shadow part in Gemini, right? Have double face. What I mean by this is that you are like, I want people, I want communicate, I want have deeper connections, I want this and this. And then you just shut down, and then you just don't walk out, and then you just like hate everyone around you and judge them. And in every new person you see all their flaws, and you will be like, oh no, they have this, this, and this. Unfortunately, they are not so good as I thought before. I mean, we're not perfect. Not even one person on this earth is perfect. And if you will focus only on their flaws, especially if you don't know them deeper, you will stay alone and sad. Don't do this. Try to be, Leo rules hard, right? And like, heart could be the answer for your situation. Oh, and we actually have movement with green color heart. So movement in your body will help to move energies in your heart, and opening your heart and becoming more compassionate toward other people, becoming more acceptable to other flaws, not in a way that you please them and hide your negative emotions. In the opposite way, you accepting, first of all, your flaws, you accepting your uniqueness that is about your power and your weaknesses in the same moment. You're acting straightforward and honest, but you're also acting from the bit of compassion, kindness. And you might see how other people with all their flaws and weaknesses responding to your heart desire and they developing with you. Nobody is perfect, and it's difficult to build connections if you focused only on negativity and on your previous traumas. Here is the important message. Don't try to focus only on negativity and be so scary dickhead. And don't try to focus only on positivity and be so blindfolded with your imagination about better. You have to find balance. You have to be in the middle. You have to be acceptable, and you have to open your heart, but in the same time you have to have strong boundaries that do not allow absolutely anyone to cross them. And it doesn't matter how close this person for you and how you love them, nobody can cross your boundaries. This is the power of true love. We're using Corrupted Tarot. This is the only deck that we can use in the shadow work reading. And we have 10 of Swords in Corrupted Tarot. 10 of Swords. King of Swords. Very graceful. And King of Pentacles. Here is some huge self-judgment energy. Here is some huge overthinking energy. Here is some 10 fucking swords that you are basically pushing in your chest with your own hands, or in your stomach, as we can see in this picture. Group 1. This is what you have to know. Shit that you're doing with your soul right now is not just important. It's wrecking your fate. It's wrecking your being. You have huge problems with thoughts about yourself. You might think that you already did such a big job, you learned about yourself so much, and like you're much better than you were before. Beautiful. This is super good. However, you have to understand that you are stretching your limits right now that connected to this overall problem that we discussed today. You are too harsh on yourself. You're too over-controlling of your actions and thoughts, It doesn't mean that you are acting perfect. It means that you are so much hate and judge yourself for absolutely any mistake. It's so important for you to talk from the love with you. It could be the most important thing and the most important suggestion in here in this situation, because those 10 of swords, that's what you're working with every day. And of course, because of this, you will feel tired and drained and like exhausted. Of course, it's obvious. If you experience some problem with food, this is also important message here, that it's happening because you have this balance in your sharing ability. Like, you sharing with others your truth and honesty, giving other lessons from your perspective, like, this is who you are, this is your point of view. You could be an artist, you could be a teacher, you could be like politician, I guess, even, who knows. But the thing is that because you experience those interruptions in those energies where you have to share, and you can share only from love to yourself. You can share about your negative emotions, but still only from love to yourself. You might experience problems with food and hoarding energies, like this hunger, it's never enough, I want to buy this, I want to buy this. You might experience problems with money because of this. Definitely over obsession for some material part in your life. This is a way of compensate for the lack of the realization in your purpose and realization in your relationships. King of Swords in this deck, this is an energy of tyrant, and this is an energy of manipulator who will twist the truth to just receive what they want. And this is who you are. For some of you, it could be, of course, that there is a tyrant in your life and oh my fucking God, run. Like, stop trying to search better in them. But for most of you, this is who you are. And you might have like idea that you are a kind and cute person who is trying to do everything for the better, but actually you're trying to manipulate absolutely everyone around you so that they will give you this love and acceptance from that you are so lacking in your life, from yourself first of all. I will draw some more cards for you. You know what? some brighter cards. But then on the other side, of course, I'm acting like this because I actually feel huge energy here. But as a person who went through some shit, many different types of shit, I can tell you that all of this is happening because of you, and you know it. But help from others can really shift your perspective. Don't close yourself from help from others. And don't close yourself from your main primary needs. What your body needs, what your soul needs. And we have two cards for you here. Temple of the Rose, Ancient Power, Expression, Activation, Scarlet Codes, and the Thorn, Protection, Boundaries, and Clear Communication. You feel insecure right now, exactly because your boundaries are messed up. Your lack of clear communication with all previous messages, we already saw it. And powers that are inside you, they are bigger than you think, bigger than you can imagine. And when you deplete yourself from self-expression, you messing up with those energies. And it doesn't mean that you have to quit your work today, and or maybe it means, who knows, if you thought about it, and like go and try to do your thing. But it means that you have to do your thing, you have to express yourself every day in something maybe small. And also remember that there is huge connection between self-expression in our work, in our practice, and self-expression in our relationships. When we work with subtle energies of our heart and our soul, and we try to express them through any type of art, it helps us to connect with the soul messages, and it helps us to become stronger and more motivated in expressing those truths to others. I believe those were all messages for you, my dear group number 1 for today. If something resonated in you, I would really love to hear from you in the comment section. It's not only interesting for me personally, and I will answer absolutely any comment, but it's also important for my YouTube and for my work, so I would be really glad if you can support me in this way. And as I said in the beginning of the reading, I have personal readings. The link for it would be down below. See you next readings. Bye! Welcome group 2. Your choice for today was pink, rose, quartz, moon. And the oracles that I got for you here are Chiron with heal, South Node with past, Trine sextile with symbiosis, and conjunction with alliance. And I see here that huge shadow work that you're going through right now in your life is definitely connected to deep wounds, to your past, to traumas, maybe for some of you even to PTSD. Your coping mechanisms that you use to help yourself with the triggers that trigger your pain are not the best means for yourself. These coping mechanisms could distract you, of course, but then on the other side, destroy. And you have to focus your energy on one thing right now. You have to focus your energy on your healing of this concrete trauma that is triggering you so much. Really good recommendation for you could be breathing techniques or dialectical behavioral therapy. You can Google it. Actually, there is a lot of information about this therapy, but in short, it is a therapy that was created for borderline personality disorder. And the idea was that to teach people, first of all, first step in this therapy is mindfulness. They focus all their attention on creating mindful skill. How to find yourself in the moment here and now. How to collect yourself here. And next steps are connected to working with stress and learning the stress skills. There are concrete skills that actually work because there were many different researches about this therapy. So the techniques that it used, they actually works. It was proven, right, by research. So I know that if you never tried to connect yourself with psychology, you might think that it's like something like not very important, I don't know, kinda. It won't help you because your suffering's that much. But hear me out. Here's the thing. There are people who suffer even more than you, and therapy helps them. So why won't you try to use knowledge and wisdom from people who put all their life on searching ways how to help others? Here's also an important thing about psychology. Some people don't understand that psychologists and researchers, psychologists who work in this field, it's their purpose in their life to find a way how to help. They spend days and nights in those trials and experiments, and like the biggest motivation for them to continue moving forward is seeing how other people suffer and wanting to help them. So even energetically, using some of the therapies that already proven with years that they work, even energetically you connect to the energy of all those people who want to help others and all those people who wanted to help themselves and used these therapies. So it's a huge, important, energetic field of help and healing. And you have to focus yourself on the healing right now, because you might think that it doesn't really matter, like there are more important things in your life. However, this huge sword that hovers above your head, sword of this trauma, fear that it will repeat itself or that it's already repeating itself, this literally paralyzes you in all other aspects of your life. It has such a huge impact on your body, on your sleep, on your eating behavior. You have to understand that comfort zone that you found for you by using those coping mechanisms that actually working for worse, any addictive behavior, alcohol, games, sex, drugs, social media, yeah, all those behaviors, they do not serve their purpose anymore. You want to be stronger, you want to build your strength, you want to go further, you want to develop and grow up from this. And this is what you're going through right now. And ability to focus your energy on one thing and ability to take responsibility on yourself for your healing and, for example, refuse other people in this moment. Avoid maybe some conflicts and some people. Search only for positivity and for support. This is a power. This is a strong behavior. Because when you're healing, you already experience such a stressful times, huge tension, and it's not time to spend your energy on maybe healing some conflicts with others. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, we cannot maybe sometimes totally avoid it. But if it's possible for you right now, temporarily focus only on yourself and on your trauma and how you can heal it. And you definitely need some professional help, because both you got Chiron and South Node that talks about past and karma and like what we brought from the past to us, right? This is a message that this pain from past is the biggest source of your wisdom. Chiron was not able to fully heal himself, but because of his desire to help others, he built kind of all this medicine school, if I'm not wrong. So the idea is that your pain is the source and the biggest motivation for you to help others, to heal them. My personal example, I suffered as an adolescent a lot, as a young adult also a lot. I suffered because I was extremely lack of love, and I was very sensitive person all my life, and people around me didn't know, and I didn't know that I'm so different from others in the levels of my sensitivity. So I would judge myself and I would try to fix myself to be like others, right? And the most important thing that I was avoiding my creative desires, because I'm somewhat Leo and I want recognition, and there is a huge fear that like other will abandon me and reject me, and I was too over focused on relationships so that other will recognize me and I would please them, and I ended up in drug addiction. Such a huge drug addiction. And yeah, obviously, like focusing only on this addiction and starting healing it, I forced myself to refuse from communication with others. Not to be honest, don't really force myself. The moment I stopped using drugs, I obviously didn't want to communicate to other drug addicts. There was only one friend of mine with whom it was difficult for me to break up. But again, more and more I started to realize that relationships with them bring me only pain, and the more I thought about our relationships in the past, I saw that actually they never saw me. We pretty much always were on drugs or on alcohol. So, but this trauma that I experienced in my life lack of self-love and self-worth, lack of creative realization, because I am an artist. This is my life, this is my soul, this is my path, but I was not at all realizing myself in this when in my 20s. And this people pleasing and this rejection from others, all of this is a huge base for me. And my dream is to help children and adolescents. This is something that is the most maybe important thing in my life. I truly believe that, for example, right now in this part of my life, by doing this video, I'm already helping those young people. Of course, people of all ages, but like also for young people. And later, when I will be able to earn money, to build my name, to create some following base, I really want to build something for kids, for adolescents, for young adults. Maybe retreats, or maybe some psychological school. But this is something that will never leave me, I guess. This is something that is totally based on my trauma and on my pain and years of healing. I am in therapy for 7 years already, and all 7 years I am a sober person. I quit drugs after 1 month of therapy. So what your pain is your wisdom, but to be able to transform this pain to wisdom, you need help. This is important. As I said, psychological, I really recommend because it helped me. Spiritual also, physical. When we move our body, when we connect with the energies of our body, when we learn about our body more, we definitely heal many aspects in our soul. And with those two cards, this is a warning and suggestion also. You might have this comfort zone in those people around you. And this comfort zone that already is uncomfortable because you want to grow more, you want to do more, but people around you can create this comfortable swamp, where you sitting and like, and it's okay, well, it's painful, but that's okay, something like this. So recommendation from those cards is that you have to learn how to separate yourself from the negative impact, right? From the people who drag you down with themselves. Yeah, it's really connected to what I said about my story, but I mean, that's what cards say also. And you have to consciously search for allies in your life. Consciously search for people who ignite and inspire your motivation, and people who work in the field that you want to work. Or like you can use YouTube. Every time when I suffer with my problems with writing, I just go and I watch video of the fellow writer, and it inspires me. And here's the thing. Even if you cannot find those people in the physical world, boy and girl and all other people, we live in the world of internet connection. You can find allies everywhere. And actually in books also. I love reading autobiographies of people who went through something. We all went through something. Not all of us just write books. But when I read about it and I understand that I'm going through the same thing, like my heart heals in this moment. And this person who wrote this book, he or she or they are my ally. This is really important. Search support, kind, compassionate connections. If someone brings you negativity, if someone triggers your pain right now, again, maybe just temporarily, if you don't want to fully erase them from your life, maybe just temporarily refuse from connection with them. Just for the period of your healing, it would be so important for you to not scatter your attention between so many triggering people and situations also. And doing any type of, again, productive, healthy behavior together with someone. It could be anything from drawing randomly to walking near the lake, right? Or to just productive, not just gossiping with each other or drinking kombucha or alcohol. Definitely, that's not productive behavior. Could start, could give you this base, foundation, this pillow, soft pillow underneath you while you're going through this rough time with healing of your wounds. I'm with you, group number 2. I'm so much with you. I definitely know how it's extremely difficult to go through this phase. But then again, I also have ADHD. Maybe you also have it. This is why we have this focus your attention on one thing. And what I can say, I have ADHD. It's really difficult to focus on one thing. And it took me years. Yeah, I know it. But I did it. I did it. I'm still working on my attention and focusing and like building my new behavior. But it's absolutely different. In one moment, somewhere, I think on my third or fourth year of sobriety and healing, it's important to mention that on my first year, I moved to Canada, and also trauma of moving to another country is real. Anyway, somewhere in the third year, I changed. I changed forever, I believe. Because from the perspective that everything is bad and I cannot help with it, I went to perspective that everything is good even when I'm sad and even when I don't feel good. And I still live in this perspective, and it becomes even like just stronger and stronger in me. Let's see what we have from Prizm Oracle for you. Protection with no, wait, it's a black color. Balance with green color. And reflection with the blue color. Absolutely, 100%. This blue color with reflection connected to our fifth chakra, our throat, our ability to express our emotions and feelings. There is a huge need for reflection. And if it's difficult for you to reflect in a positive and beneficial way, being alone with yourself, then you have to use help of others. Because for me, again, 7 years in therapy, right? And I also helped other people as a counselor already. I can tell you one thing. When I can just talk without interruption and express all my thoughts, everything that is in my head, in my heart, no matter, is it stupid, is it like wise, everything that is on my mind, to the person who agreed to listen to me in this moment, who agreed to help me with just listening to me. This is the most powerful technique that I know. This is so extremely important. And you should do it not only once, not only 2 times. It should be regular practice. You should find people who can help you and listen to you carefully. And we doing this, for example, in both ways. We literally call each other with my friends and request psychological help, exactly with these words, like, I want to do psychological work. How about we do it for the next half an hour? And we literally turn on our timer, and 15 minutes, for example, I talk and she listens, and 15 minutes she talks and I listen. This allows to me, when I talk, to take from the bottom of my mind everything that is there and to show it first, not only her, first of all, myself. When I speak it out loud, I see what's happening inside me, because many times our thoughts, they just hide from us somewhere in the back of the mind. And when we talk them out loud, we can reflect on them. This is so important. And if you don't have a friend who can give you this help, then maybe professional will really, really help you with this. Dialectical behavior therapy actually also based on the group therapy. So maybe group would be really cool for you, because Seeing that others, again, go through the same thing like you really helps, really helps. You definitely lack protection right now. You feel insecure, and this is connected to your own behavior, first of all. This is lack of trust because you continue doing actions that harm you. And with this green card of balance, I can tell that to bring your heart in balance, you have first of all to accept the fact that it is not in balance. You have to accept that everything is worse than you trying to show it to yourself. Why I'm telling you this like dark thing? Because it can help you to build motivation to break through your comfort zone and to go and do this difficult thing to help yourself. Because if you have million reasons why you won't go on therapy, why you won't try to do this thing, or oh, it's impossible to do yoga every day for me. If you have those million reasons, that means that you still do not fully understand the depth and the importance of what's happening with you right now. Let's use a corrupted tarot deck to see what importance and depth of this situation here with your shadow work. And you also need to know that like shadow aspect of our life is not negative aspect of our life. It's something that we do not want to accept and do not want to show ourselves first of all. And your shadow aspect is your traumatized self. Again, you might think you know about it. You might even talk about it out loud. But telling people, oh yeah, I have a trauma connected to this, this, and this, and not healing it means that you do not know about your trauma. And we have for you Page of Wands. Interesting, look at this. This Page of Wands literally trying to reach this wand. The Death and the Fool. Okay, this is really important. Death in Corrupted Tarot means basically our resistance towards change. And the problem with death is that it is inevitable. Like, if it's happening right now, death, transformation, right? Need to transform your life, to transform your practices and your routine and your view on life, first of all. If it's already happening, the more you resist it, the more you're suffering. And this Fool is extremely supports this situation because your naivety that in the Fool in the normal deck will show us kind of this some positive aspect of healthy children. The naivety that you have right now is more connected to self-lie and rejection of, again, knowledge that surrounds you already, that it's so important to see. The slow, your rejection from leap of faith here, right, is basically rejection from your transformation. You have to do this leap of faith. You have to try something that you never tried before. You have to try to trust to new way of healing. And again, just try it, see it, open your heart. Try to believe that it's possible to find a way how to heal your trauma. Because the biggest boundaries and even frames that you cannot overcome are based on your belief that nothing will help, that it doesn't work, that I already tried and it didn't help, and all this stuff. With Page of Wands, that literally so beautifully trying to catch this wand, while they already have one wand in their hand, this is important, tells me it has some connection to previous group a little already, because basically in this deck it means the extreme need for validation, and because of this lack of deeper foundation for work. Like your work that you're doing is based on the obsession of recognition and validation, and not from the desire to do work, and not from the love and all this stuff. And by word work, of course, I can mean your work and you would know about it, or it could be about, again, your psychological work. There is a book, How to Do the Work, I think it calls. It is actually about psychological work, and I started to listen to it lately. Maybe it would be interesting for you. You know, with the psychology, here's the thing. Many people think that psychology is about lying on a couch and like rambling about your dreams or something. This is only one way of therapy, and pretty much old way. Not people usually don't use it nowadays, I believe. There are so many different ways of the therapies, and they could be so connected to spirituality, to arts, to self-expression. And again, you even don't need to spend a lot of money on it. Sometimes if you cannot afford something, you can Google, learn, read about it. Even reading about therapy really helps sometimes. I want to draw some additional oracles for you to end this reading with some bright hint. No? Yeah, why not? The Seers of Mintaka. Seeing potential, bringing unconsciousness to light. Star Brothers. I knew that this card will show itself today. Why? I'm interested. Why? Ours, energy, protection, loyalty, safety, trust. So Spirit reminds you that you have to see the potential. Because even if we do our first steps, like when we look at the seed, right? We should understand that from this little seed, the huge oak tree can grow. And sometimes seeing the potential really helps to move forward, to do this first step maybe. It's not always a good thing to focus on this bigger picture, but we need to use this zoom in and zoom out situation to help us moving forward. Bring unconsciousness to light. This is definitely about mindfulness, awareness, therapy, talking out loud about your thoughts, trying to express the deeper spheres, the stupidest thoughts in your head that you have. And with this Star Brothers, protection, loyalty, safety, trust, right above this conjunction with alliance, this is definitely truth. You have to find at least one person with whom you can be in these trustful relationships. And maybe if you'll try group therapy, you will find a good ally there. Not a friend, ally. Because friends bring some other aspects with them. But good ally that are on the same side with you, that are on the same healing journey, they bring only support, and you bring support to their life. This is really very important. And you can find allies pretty much anywhere, to be honest. Even in your, art community, on meditation sessions, in any collective situation that is based on something that is interesting for you, first of all, and that is based on something that allows to develop soul or body. Somewhere there. I believe that this word, all messages for you, my dear group number 2. If something resonated in you, I'd be really glad to hear from you in the comment section. Not only it's interesting for me personally, but also it really helps to my channel to grow. And this is my dream, to have my YouTube as full-time job. And you can leave requests for other videos in the comment sections also if you like. And I have personal readings in my Etsy shop. The link would be down below. And I see you next readings. Bye! Hi Group 3, today decided to choose Opalite Moon and card transformation. And what I can say, my voice feels better after a few hours of work. But for you, Taurus with cultivate, Cancer with immerse, and Virgo with digest. And I see that big part of your shadow work is connected to your body actually, and to your digestion also, because the shadow aspect of Taurus could be overconsumption. And the shadow aspect of Virgo could be inability to digest, if we will translate it on more metaphysical aspect, it is an ability to digest your situation, to go through it, to sort it, and to separate it on smaller pieces so you can able to again go through it and digest it. Cancer also could be connected to idea of nurturing yourself with nutrients and nurturing yourself with ideas, with inspiration. And obviously Taurus shadow aspect activates in the moments when we miss the grounding aspect in our life, because the important energy of Taurus is connection to the material world. And the world matter is from Latin word that means mother. And we need to understand that material aspects of our life are as important as our emotional and spiritual and mental aspects and needs. And when you neglect health of your material body and your physical needs, you will suffer consequences. It is inevitable. And also on the other side, if you're trying to solve your spiritual and mental needs with material aspects, especially with those aspects that are over, right? Overconsumption, overspending, for example. Also, money, the same way connected to this idea. You cannot solve your spiritual and mental needs with these kind of actions, because it is important to separate those two aspects. I always say that our body has a huge impact on our soul. It's truth. And we can support our healing process of our soul with movement, adequate healthy movement of our body, adequate rest of our body. We can support our healing, definitely. We can. It could be this pivotal point in our healing, actually, when we add work with our body. However, anything that destroys our body definitely cannot help our soul. It's truth. And I wanted to mention, by the way, the parts of the body that are connected to each of these signs, so that maybe if you experience some physical problems with those parts of the body, suggestions that will go through this reading could help you with this, because those energies, they are all connected. With Taurus, it's actually about neck and voice. And I believe because I have my flu right now, I definitely have to work with the energy of Taurus, and I didn't even know what overconsumption it was for me. For Cancer, we have nutrition, as I said, and it is connected, because of this, it's connected to breasts and to stomach, because obviously Cancerian energy is a mother energy. Virgo is connected to nervous system and intestinal tract, and as we can see, whole digestive system here in the play. So if you experience any constipation or opposite situation, you can definitely know that it is connected to your shadow work that has to be done. I see that this situation that's happening in you right now, happening because obviously you're going through transformation. You chose this card, right? But it's also happening because you overgrow your old behavior and your, again, maybe coping mechanisms, right? We see this message a lot lately in readings, and it's great for me because I understand that people who watch my videos, they are ready to change. They are already going through this change, and it's very inspiring for me. Taurus sometimes can give us suggestion to slow down and to enjoy this moment and to tune into the material, real situation here and now. But then on the other side, shadow aspect of Taurus is also being lazy, right? Being too stubborn, don't want to move forward, don't want to let go, don't want to change, because you might find comfort in this stubbornness. Try to use a light aspect of Virgo in you, and you have to analyze and sort what's happening with you right now, and you have to look on the long-term perspective. Because even if something that you're doing is kind of still working, try to ask yourself, will it work in half a year, even in a year, in 5 years? Do I want to continue this behavior? Small changes here and now lead big changes in the perspective. And this work, this concrete logical work where you sit and write down all this stuff, like what I'm doing right now, if I'll continue doing this, what might happen in half a year, in a year? If I'll start doing this little positive thing right now, how I'll feel in a year, in half a year. And if you're personally not really inspired by this, you can try to find help from others who, even productive YouTubers, to be honest, psychology, spirituality, people who already went through the same changes that you are trying to go through right now. They can be supportive in this situation where you might not fully believe in your powers. With Cancer, some shadow aspect of Cancer that could be connected to you is, again, like defense, like desire to close yourself from the situation, from others maybe even. And I don't want to know, I don't want to see, I don't want to work with my inner situation, and I don't want to care. I want to eat and enjoy my physical body. You know, not only eat, of course. It could be even connected to sex, for example. Like, you know, we cannot solve with sex our desire for love. This is a very good metaphor that explains shadow aspect of Taurus. I can understand why you would like to grow your shell stronger, and why you would maybe like to avoid other people or conflicts, because you are a very sensitive person, and maybe you are an empath, but you definitely feel for others. Energy of Cancerian energy is the energy that should be healed in you. It's part of your shadow, and it means that it is you, right? Because our shadow aspects are part of ourselves that we don't want to accept still. We don't know how to use them for the better. And like healthy Cancer definitely has healthy, adequate boundaries. They know when to say no, and they know when to say yes. And first of all, they are honest with themselves, and they know when they need help, and when they don't have capacity to help others. This is the work that you are going through right now. You're learning all those aspects. Let's see what we have for you in Prizm Oracle. What additional information you need to know about your shadow work here and now. And we have determination with yellow card. Ghost with it's kind of white color. It should be white color. And passion, I'm not sure. It looks like red, but sometimes it's, let's say it's red, right? No, it should be orange. A little strange printing of cards, because in the book this kind of add the orange section. I want one more. Ideation. This definitely orange. Okay, so I see the problem. You idealize the best result that you would love to achieve in your current situation, something that is boring, something that is on your mind. And because it is not possible to write a book in 1,000 pages in one day, you just stop yourself and you're not doing anything. So the problem is that of course it was a metaphor, translate it on yourself, but It is impossible to reach the ideal result, first of all, from the first try, second, from the first day, and third, actually overall, because ideal does not exist. It exists only as a thought. Even if when we reach something that we thought would be ideal for us, the life is different, and the life has other aspects, not only our result, and this result will have effect on other aspects, and it doesn't mean that it would be actually ideal for our life, because everything is interconnected to each other. So you have this problem with perfectionism in you. And this perfectionism, really, the only thing that it does for you, it blocks you from growing, because if I can't write an ideal novel right now, I will not write at all. And you forget that everything really stunning and impressive and beautiful was made through years and years of practice, days of continuous practice. The most talented people on earth would not be able to do what they are doing without their practice. It's truth. And for example, if you enjoy my readings, if you already see some readings and like you overall feel positive towards what I'm doing right now, when I was starting in November, that was awful. That was not really good. I already had a talent because like I knew how to use cards. I already used them for 6 years and all this stuff. But my videos were awful. I was not able to talk in English at all. Like it was so difficult, and my spreads didn't look so beautiful, and like overall everything. But with each new reading, I learned more and more and more and more and more. First of all, about myself, about my style, about what I want to talk about and what I don't want to talk about on my channel. So slowly but surely, like my talent started to show itself here only because I did this work. From November, 4 videos per month, November, December, June, July. 36 videos, and only now I'm starting to really feel myself, and it's just the beginning. So with this determination and passion right above your Taurus, I can say that it could be your healing and it could be your curse on the other side. You might suffer from your passion, and you might suffer from your big, strong desires to achieve your goals. Why suffer? Because if you have this passion and desires, but you don't do absolutely anything, well, you will hate your desires because you will think and connect them to those feelings of I lost myself. I feel this ghost exactly as this energy of being alone and being lost and not being materialized in this material world. Like you are too much in your head and you do not have enough your personal creations. You might again substitute your desire to create in this world with consumption and hoarding, for example. But the only thing that your soul wants, it wants to give something to this world, to nurture others, to inspire them with your ideas, with your creations. And this is an energy of someone who is already tired from these continuous cycles, like vicious cycles. And it is time to become, take adult responsibility on yourself. Use relentlessness. I think this is the word. What I mean by this is that you have to accept that even if you have weaknesses, and for example, if you have addictive tendencies towards I will give you my personal example. Towards phone, I have addictive tendencies towards my phone. What I do, I use my Virgo energy inside me. We'll have all zodiac energies inside us, obviously. And I sit down yesterday and I checked my phone and wrote down how many hours I spent on Instagram and on the game that I'm playing, Genshin Impact. And I found that for the last 7 days, I spent 40 hours in sum on the game and on the Instagram. Meaning that 1/4 of the day for me every day spent on this stuff. I'm not judging myself because, oh my gosh, I'm working with this problem so many years. I'm tired from judging. But I looked at this number, this concrete, real number, and this allowed me to start thinking about this 1/4 of the day. What I can do with this time while I'm doing this, like, is it really that bad as I think? Or maybe it's not that bad. You know, all those thoughts, you know what they allowed to do me yesterday? I called my friend after it and I requested psychological help from her. And when we do this thing, we turn on our timer and I talk for 15 minutes, for example, and she listens, and then she talks for 15 minutes and I listen. And I basically just explained her all my insights and thoughts about my phone, about my addiction, about the fact that I continue looking at my phone even in the moments when my eyes already bleeding and all this stuff. And this really helped me. And I just said her out loud what I was thinking about. And I was thinking about that maybe I should create a rule where I don't use Instagram or my games till I will finish all my work in the morning, at least till this time. I want to try this. Will it work? Will it help me? Maybe it won't work, who knows? But at least for 1 week, I'll try it. And after I said this out loud to her, I did it. I still didn't use my phone for entertainment. And right now it is 12:30 p.m. It helped me. While it was on the back of my mind, while I was thinking about it, it was like, yeah, I should try to do it. But when I said it out loud to her, after I did some analysis of my behavior, it actually helped. It gave me some push of this energy that I was lacking. So for you, it could be this, that you should collect these bits of energies that you're lacking right now in straightforward analyzing of your behavior, being honest with yourself, in creating healthier boundaries, again, with others and with your personal behavior. Because, for example, this my rule about not using my phone, this is a boundary from myself to myself. And with Taurus, please pay attention to your physical body and find a way how to enjoy movement of your body in a healthy way. This is really important. And this already would be your transformation. This already will mean that you are letting go of the past behavior. And also don't build huge expectations from those actions. Just trust that you'll continue searching your ways no matter how many times you will need to shift and change them, because you remember I said maybe it will work, maybe it won't work. This rule about not using my phone till I end my work, finish my work. If it won't work, if I see that it doesn't help and I'm obsessing again, I'll try to create some variation of this rule. And I continue discussing it with my friend and I continue writing down it in my journal. And this shit works. This works because I already set myself free from drug, alcohol, and food addictions by this way. Additional cards for you are Temperance, and this is our corrupted tarot deck. 10 of Swords, because we are looking on your shadow aspects, right? Okay, and Queen of Wands. Obviously, Queen of Wands in not corrupted way is your energy. It is you. More feminine because more nurturing side, but then on the other side, Queen of Wands is the energy of inspiring leader who just ignites this passion in everyone. Passion that you have in yourself, you can ignite it in others. It's your purpose in this life. However, this is a corrupted version of this Queen of Wands. And when it is corrupted or reversed, basically idea, right? It could represent a lack of plan, chaotic behavior, inability to focus on one concrete thing and follow your steps. Like inside you, so much power, so much passion, but when you don't know how to channel it in the right way, you might suffer by yourself, and you also can bring destruction to others, to lives of others, and to your relationships. And actually for temperance, I know that the message is also similar to what I already said, but I really want to read it from the book. Temperance, excess, loss of control, and extremism. Yeah, it's similar, but it's bigger. Temperance falls from the sky, and what is severe remains broken. Moderation is so far behind us that it may seem impossible to achieve again. Where once there was balance, only irrational extremes and chaotic descent remain. And Ten of Swords. Group number 3. I wanted to say, stay strong for you. But then on the other side, I know how it is, how you can feel when you more than sure that you are not strong. And sometimes we have to accept that we are weak, because acceptance of my weakness do not allow me to ignore anymore behavior that actually destroys my life. Because if I'm weak, I cannot afford spending my energy on this behavior because I'm not strong. I cannot survive this behavior. If other people can drink alcohol and it doesn't destroy their life, I can't. If other people can spend their time, I don't know, randomly watching Netflix every day without their development of the character, I can't. I am too weak. I will die. They will survive it. I'm not. This is what I'm telling you. This is my acceptance of my weakness. And this is the only thing that really, really motivates me to refuse from distractions. You have to understand that it's important. It's much more important than you think. Your comfort zone really killing you. Killing your passion, killing your determination. It's not something easy. It's not like every day, for the past week, I would say myself like, well, I am ill. I have flu. I'm kind of tired. I'll go to my phone. Every time I would say like this. And I felt worse and worse with each day. And I believe that I continue being sick only because I was spending my days in my phone without working. Let's see what we got in the Oracle cards to make it a little more brighter conclusion for your reading. What Spirit has for you in this Starseed Oracle deck. I have a question for Starseed Oracle deck. Why this card of Star Brothers, protection, loyalty, safety, trust, shows itself pretty much in every reading what I do? Maybe it is about healthy masculine side that we should tap into, we should search for, and we should understand that there is other part of masculinity, not only active destruction. Maybe. Losing your grip, coping mechanism, density, addiction, let God in. Portal, doors are opening, you decide, rewards, wild card. Search help in your brothers. Search help in the healthy man. It could be someone whom you know personally, it could be someone inspiring, but definitely it should be a representation of healthy, masculine. And also, of healthy productivity and example of someone who were able to achieve their dreams without killing themselves, basically. This is card, just look at it, it's just above your passion, determination, 10 of swords, and Taurus, losing your grip, density, addiction. Let God in. You definitely have to tap into spirituality. You definitely have to go deeper on the levels of trust, and there is a huge lack of connection with the bigger picture here. Connection on the soul and heart level, because only in this situation where this is happening, we can be so deep into our dependable behavior, addictive behavior. And those are opening right now. This is your chance. You deciding right now. You choose the card of transformation for this reading. You know that transformation is happening. You know that portal is here and doors are open. You might be afraid to step in. You might think that you don't know how to do it. But actually, change and transformation happens with little and small steps. Don't expect that you will achieve like total transformation on the level that you always dream to be. You will start from small things, but this already will mean that transformation happened. I believe that those were all messages for you, my dear group number 3. If something resonated in you, please write down in comment section. I would love to read it and I will definitely answer to your comment. And I wanted to tell you that I have my Etsy shop, just reminding you, with personal readings. And also you can request any type of video for the next readings in the comment section down below also. And I see you next readings. Bye!